Guys, it is that time of the year. It is October, which means it's time for postseason baseball. Obviously, as a baseball fan, this is the best time of year. Super exciting. So we're going to be making some predictions because when playoffs roll around in football, basketball, or baseball, you know there's going to be prediction videos everywhere. And why not? It's fun. We're trying to predict the future. Who doesn't want to try to do that? So guys, this is apparently, I didn't know this existed before this year, but this is the postseason MLB.com postseason bracket challenge. Apparently, if you get a perfect bracket, you have a chance at $100,000. I mean, usually what that really means is whoever gets a perfect bracket, they split a pot between like 1,000 people. So if I got a perfect bracket, I'd probably win like $10 or something. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, guys, we're going to be making our predictions. Let me know your predictions, where you agree with me, where you disagree with me in the comments below. I'm a Dodger fan, for those of you who don't know, so I'm going to try to be super unbiased. And honestly, I'll try to be as objective as I can, but sometimes you can't control it. But we'll see. We'll go game by game. I haven't really thought of this too much beforehand. We're just going to do this, guys. Here we go. So we're going to start with the American League. We're going to start with the wild card game, which is tonight because I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Yankees and Red Sox. What better game could there be than Yankees versus Red Sox? Winner take all. Obviously, the biggest rivalry in sports. Let's just be honest. Yankees and Red Sox. The only thing that can even be slightly comparable is the Lakers and Celtics. But even then, this is like over 100 years of history between these two teams. They've had plenty of playoff battles. Both have the same record. It's in Fenway in Boston. But you know what? I mean, this is going to be a close game. Maybe high scoring. I think it'll be a great game. But here's why I'm going to go with the Yankees. Because they have better pitching, I think, starting and bullpen. And JD Martinez is out for the Red Sox. And even if he was in the lineup, I still think the Yankees have at least just as good, maybe even better hitting. And not having JD Martinez really sucks for the team. So I'm going to go with the Yankees to win a close game. I just think, I mean, they're very inconsistent. And they do, they're very inconsistent. So there's been a lot of great moments. There's been some bad moments for the Yankees. But I just think they're the better team at this point. You know, Garrett Cole, I think, is better than Nathan Eovaldi at this point, even though he's been really good for the Red Sox. Garrett Cole kind of symbolizes what the Yankees have been all year. Some great moments and then some bad moments, all put together. Overall, a pretty good team and a pretty good year. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Yankees. I think they have one of the most stacked rosters in the league. I think they're the slightly better team at this point. So then we're gonna go to the National League. We're gonna do the wild card games first, guys. Dodgers and Cardinals. My Dodgers somehow, with 106 wins, didn't win their division and have to play a team that's 16 games worse than them, and it's a winner-take-all game, do or die. So that's baseball. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Sometimes stuff like this happens. It is in Dodger Stadium. The Cardinals are hot. They did win 17 games in a row pretty recently, but they did finish the year losing 2 in a row to the Cubs at home. The Dodgers are coming in red hot, especially offensively, winning 7 games in a row and scoring at least 8 runs, I believe, in their last 5 games, each of their last 5 games. Max Scherzer versus Adam Wainwright, 2 veteran pitchers that are having great years. You know, it's going to be a great game. It's a wild card game. Obviously, it's going to be great, but I'm going to go with the Dodgers. They're the better team, I think. Of course, anything can happen in one game, but the Dodgers, they're the better team. They have better pitching. They have probably the best pitching in the league. Great hitting that is coming alive at the right time. Of course, not having Max Muncy is going to kind of suck. But this game, I think the Dodgers get it done against the Cardinals. Then we move on to the Rays versus... which one should we do first? Let's do White Sox and Astros. Let's do the 2 versus 3 first. This is a great series. 2 great offenses, 2 very solid... I think the White Sox have better pitching, but the Astros have good pitching too. Very solid, pretty evenly matched teams. But overall, I think when I look at both rosters, I think the White Sox have a more equipped roster for a longer postseason run, and I think they do have better pitching, especially in their bullpen. They have Liam Hendricks, who might be the best closer, or maybe after Josh Hader, the second best closer in the league, but a great elite closer. Craig Kimbrell, who has been a closer for a long time and could be closing games as well for them. So 2 great relievers there. They have other good guys, Ryan Tepera, very solid starting pitching. This will be a close series. I could see this going 5 games, but I'm going to go with the White Sox to win and advance to the ALCS. Then we got Raisin Yankees, a rematch of last year's division series. Okay, here's what concerns me. I think this could be another 5-game series. The Yankees probably have the better roster than the Rays, but as we know, the Rays don't need all the big names. They win with their smart analytics and their roster management and their platooning and all that. Their great bullpen, great pitching overall. The Rays last year got to the World Series, I think, obviously because of their great bullpen, and their hitting was really good too. But I think the main reason why this year's Rays team is not as good as last year is because last year they had a legit 1-2-3 rotation. They had Blake Snell, Charlie Morton, and Tyler Glasnow. Now they have none of those three guys. So what concerns me about the Rays is that I feel like their pitching is going to get taxed because they don't have many legitimate starters who can actually go deep into games. I feel like their bullpen is going to be used a lot and too much. So for a playoff run, of course their hitting's probably better because they did get Nelson Cruz and they have Brandon Lau had a great year. Austin Meadows had a great bounce back year. Rosarena still had a good year. A lot of good years from a lot of their players. Mike Zunino, great year. So their hitting's probably better, but as you know, pitching takes you a longer way. As most of you know, pitching probably takes you a longer way in the postseason. The Yankees, they're very inconsistent. So the Rays could win this series, but you know what? I'm going to go with a little revenge. I'm going to say the Yankees, they get going at the right time. I think they have better pitching, bullpens are comparable. I think they have better hitting, and I just don't think the Rays pitching is as well equipped for a long run as it was last year. That's just my personal opinion, and the Yankees, they're going to be looking for some revenge after the way they lost in Game 5 last year in the division series to the Rays, so why not? I'm going to go with a little upset. Baseball has plenty of them, so why not? Then we got the Giants and the Dodgers. This is the series of all series. This would be, I think, the best series in the entire postseason. Two longtime West Coast rivals who have somehow never played each other in the postseason. What a great series this will be. But I personally think the Dodgers have the best roster in the entire league, and I don't think the Giants, I don't know how they did it. They're like the Rays of the National League. They did it with smart platooning, good pitching, timely hitting, good bullpen, just all around balanced, and despite not having as much talent as a team like the Dodgers. But overall, for the playoffs, I think the Dodgers are the more well-equipped team. This, I think, might go to 5 games, but you know what? I think the Dodgers will win. I think they're the better team than the Giants. I think they're more equipped for a postseason run. They just won the World Series last year, obviously, and I think the Giants' run comes to an end. I think the Giants had an incredible regular season. I just don't see them winning the World Series. It's kind of like the Rays, where having a great, smart, analytic, platooning team with a lot of nice little players. I mean, they do have a lot of good players who had bounce-back years, but I'm just saying that can only take you so far. It's really hard to win a World Series that way. So I just don't think the Giants have a good enough team, to be honest, to win the World Series. That's just my personal opinion. I think they might, even if the Dodgers don't win, like if the Cardinals win the wild card game, they could upset the Giants. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, honestly. But the Giants are a great team. Of course, they can win the World Series. I just don't see it. Of course, there's Dodger bias there, but you know what? I'm just gonna say what I want to say. So, Brewers and Braves. This series, it's a good one. Of all the division series, it's probably the least exciting. The Braves have the better hitting, and I think the Brewers have the better pitching. Losing Devin Williams is obviously a big loss for the Brewers. It sucks because they lose probably their second best reliever after Josh Hader. They're pretty much their setup guy. He's pretty much in every 8th inning that matters. So that sucks. The Braves have great hitting. Freddie Freeman had another wonderful year. Austin Riley and Ozzie Albies had breakout years. Dansby Swanson had a good year. But for me personally, I'd rather have good pitching than good hitting. I feel like there's more consistency there. You can only rely on great hitting for so many games, but there's going to be those games where you just don't put up as many runs. And I see more consistency in great pitching, and I'd rather have great pitching than great hitting for a playoff run. So I'm going to go with the Brewers, despite the fact that they lost Devin Williams. They have a great 1-2-3 rotation. Brandon Woodruff, obviously. Corbin Burns, probably going to win the Cy Young. And Freddie Peralta. That's a great 1-2-3. Maybe the best in the league, and in a division series where it's best 3 out of 5, that's a huge advantage for the Brewers. So I'm going to go with them to win, which means our ALCS is the White Sox and Yankees, and our NLCS is Dodgers and Brewers. White Sox and Yankees, what a great series. Two very balanced teams, two really good offenses, two really good pitching staffs. But I think the White Sox have been more consistent all year. And I'm telling you, if I had to look at one American League roster that is the most equipped for a long playoff run because they're so balanced, it's the White Sox. They have a great bullpen, probably the best bullpen in the American League. Very good starting pitching with Giolito, Lance Lynn, of course, I'm just forgetting. Dylan Cease, Carlos Rodon and Dallas Keuchel. Did I already say? I don't know, but a lot of good pitchers. Great bullpen, really good hitting. Jose Abreu, Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Luis Robert, and Eloy Jimenez. I'm forgetting people. I know I will. But they just have a really balanced team, and I think the most balanced team in the American League is the White Sox. So despite their slight struggles down the stretch, and they do have a manager like Tony La Russa who does have World Series experience, I think they're the most equipped to come out of the American League, and I think they will, and they're going to face the Dodgers in the World Series because the Dodgers have just as good of pitching as the Brewers. Maybe the Brewers have a better starting rotation. Maybe, but it's very comparable. If the Brewers don't have the best starting rotation, it's the Dodgers with Scherzer, Urias, and Buehler. Of course, those three. I mean, these are probably the two best 1, 2, 3 rotations in the league, but the Dodgers have better hitting. They have just as good of a bullpen, maybe even better. But I think what will win the games for the Dodgers is their major advantage in the hitting department. Obviously, I hope Max Muncy has a chance to come back by this time, but even if he doesn't, they have Uncle Albert, T.O. Albert, as a good backup veteran. They have Matt Beatty, who's really good against right-handed pitching, and maybe Cody Bellinger bounces back, but they still have so many good players. So I think this sets up a Dodgers-White Sox World Series, which personally, at the beginning of the year, I thought this could... I think I made a prediction video with my brother, and I said Dodgers and White Sox in the World Series, and it just makes sense. I think these two teams are the most balanced when you look at their pitching. Both have elite pitching, whether it's starting pitching or bullpens. Both experienced World Series winning managers already. Both their managers have won World Series before, obviously. And they both have really good bullpens. I just think these are the two best teams. I think they're the two best teams equipped to make it to the World Series. It'll be a good series. But I mean, the Dodgers are the best team in the league. I think their biggest obstacle is getting through that wild card game. But when it comes to, if they get past that, I think they're going to win the whole thing personally. And I don't think it's, I know I'm a Dodgers fan, so it may be like, oh, he's biased, but objectively, like, they should be probably the favorites or one of the favorites to win the whole thing. So it's not like I'm being super biased. And so I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, anyone can win the World Series. October's crazy. In baseball, everyone in the postseason bracket has a chance. And that's what I like about baseball. It's wild. It's unpredictable. But I think the Dodgers, at the end of the day, are the best team. And if they get past that wild card game, and they get past the Giants, definitely. I think those are probably their two biggest obstacles over whoever they'll face in the NLCS or in the World Series. So yeah, the Dodgers win the World Series. They go back-to-back. They repeat. Yeah, let me know your opinions, guys, in the comments below, where you agree with me, where you disagree with me, like I said. And let's just hope for a great postseason, no matter who wins. I always love this time of year, the intensity of the playoffs in sports, playoff baseball, the unlikely things that happen, the unsung heroes who are role players or replacement players at best, who end up having heroic moments in the playoffs, the starting pitchers who come out of the bullpen in relief roles, the extreme places the managers of every team are willing to go for a win. So stuff like that is what I love about playoff baseball. Let's hope for a great postseason. I know it will be a great one. So guys, it is time. The wild card game for the American League is tonight, so the playoffs do kick off tonight. It's going to be great, guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I'm going to. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.